Hey guys, if you are thinking about launching an online newsletter or automating your newsletter writing process, this video is for you. Let me show you how you can use an AI multi-agent workflow on MyPal like this to help with your newsletter writing process. There are many ways you can write a newsletter. Some people may refer to their existing library of materials, could be webinars, ebooks, books, and more, and recycle the information from these materials into different newsletter issues. Some other people, on the other hand, many people I have seen build newsletters based on updated news in a specific industry or niche. And if that's you, then you can take a look at this AI multi-agent workflow I've just built here. This AI workflow essentially take in the topic, the target audience, and the references could be links of any websites, blog posts, or articles that you find interesting and you want to be considered for your next newsletter issue. You can put it here. Once this information is ready, the workflow will start a deep research process to have as much information about the current topic as possible before writing the newsletter. In this case, I will have a research query generator here to generate a list of research queries based on the given topic and target audience. And then I will have a deep research loop. This is actually a loop, meaning I will ask it to loop through every single sub-query generated in the previous step to conduct thorough online research for me and return every single finding it could find for every single sub-query. And now I will have a very detailed understanding of the topic at hand. What I can do is that I will let the next agent to curate the information for me. So oftentimes there would be a lot of information I can incorporate to my newsletter, but I would train an AI agent to do the curation for me so it can understand my newsletter or your newsletter and then summarize and gather the most relevant insights only to be incorporated to the newsletter. When you bring this workflow to your workspace, make sure you train this AI agent on the context about your newsletter so it can do the best at the information curation task, okay? And then when you have the shortlisted information, I can ask my newsletter content creator to write the newsletter content in this case. You can use models like Claude 3.5 or 3.7 Sonnet or O3, which is very good at content writing, to follow your specific brand voice and write the newsletter for you. When you bring this AI workflow into your workspace, a tip for you is you should provide the newsletter content creator with your brand voice in the output settings here. You can provide your own brand voice so that it can mimic your brand voice as closely as possible when generating the content. You can also try using more advanced models like O3 Mini as I'm using here, or some people may prefer Claude 3.7 Sonnet for the best results. And then if possible, you can even upload some of the sample newsletter issues you have written previously so that the AI would have a benchmark of what is considered a good newsletter for you. And then this newsletter content creator will write the newsletter content for me before it passes on to the last newsletter, which is an HTML newsletter designer to design a beautiful HTML for the following newsletter content. Now, in this case, make sure you have trained this designer on the newsletter template or structure that you often use. I find that each newsletter may have a different style and aesthetics preferences and requirements. So you can specify all of your requirements, preferences, and expectations here so that this HTML newsletter designer can keep that in mind when it generates the HTML for you. The more specific, the better. Now, as your AI workflow is ready, you can start using this newsletter anytime you got a topic or you want to write a newsletter issue. What you can do, for example, let's say you want to write about the topic of the real estate market in 2025 and the target audience is homeowners. You can provide it here, and my first agent is generating the research queries for every single target audience here. And then I have the deep research loop to loop through every single query and summarize all the findings it can find for me. As you can see, it can find very detailed answers for every single queries, and I think I have like 15 different queries. So it's looping through every single of these 15 queries to summarize all the findings it could find for me. So I can take a look through all of these, and I will get the most up-to-date information about the topic that is relevant to the target audience that I have just provided. So my deep research is very diligent. It's doing its best doing the full research for me for every single of these queries. And okay, so this is the last query already. Now it's summarizing and select the most relevant insights. This is done by O3. And then I have my newsletter creator agent to write the newsletter content for me. This is powered by O3 Mini. Actually, O3 Mini is quite bad at formatting, as you can see. But if you want better for formatting, feel free to choose other models like Gemini 2.0 Flash or Claude 3.7 Sonnet. But for me, formatting is not that big of a problem for me in this step, because I have the last step, generate design HTML, to take the raw content and convert it into well-designed and easy to read HTML newsletter. So it's producing the HTML design for me here, as you can see. Okay, it's done. And let's see how this HTML design actually looks like. Let me copy it and paste it into an HTML online viewer. Okay, here it is. Yeah, so this is how the HTML generated by my HTML designer looks like. I find that Claude 3.5 and 3.7 Sonnet is pretty good at generating code, so you may want to use the models for tasks like this. As you can see, I think the HTML looks pretty good. It's very well structured, although there are a couple of things it may improve, such as I can add the exact link to MyPal logo so that it can provide the logo more properly. You can also specify other things like what is the structure or the kind of styling or theme you want the HTML designer to follow, and the agent will make sure to follow your instructions. So that's it. That's how you can build an AI multi-agent workflow to help with your newsletter writing processes. I hope you find this tutorial helpful, and feel free to duplicate this AI workflow into your personal workspace for further customization if needed. The link is available in my video description. For now, happy automating!